Modern 4x4s are absolutely packed with sensors, screens, and warning lights. And that's exactly why so many people are going backwards, looking for something simpler and more reliable. Today, we're ranking LandCruisers from the least to the most electronic, and we're going to answer the big question: which LandCruiser is the simplest and most reliable to own long-term? Let's dive in. Just a quick heads up. This video is for general information only. It's not mechanical advice. Every vehicle's condition, maintenance, and modifications are different, so always inspect a vehicle and get professional advice before you hand over any money. Alright, so how are we ranking these? When I say electronics, I'm talking about a few key things. First, the engine management and all its sensors. Second, the traction control and stability systems. Third, drive-by-wire throttles and other computer-controlled components. And finally, all the modern screens, safety tech, and complex emission systems. At the end of the day, fewer electronics usually means easier repairs, fewer things that can go wrong, and a much longer service life, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So let's get to our winner, the number one spot for the least electronic LandCruiser ever. If you want the absolute bare bones minimum in electronics, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats a pre-2070 series with the legendary 1HC diesel engine. This is the undisputed king of simplicity. Why does it win? Well, it's got a fully mechanical fuel pump. That means it doesn't rely on an ECU to run. You can literally keep it going with a basic set of tools. It has no traction control, no stability control, no complex sensors to fail. It's got good old-fashioned manual locking hubs, and the wiring loom is about as simple as it gets. This thing will run in the middle of the desert with nothing but a hammer and some fencing wire. The best years to look for are the 1990s through to the early 2000s models. They are the definition of mechanical reliability. Coming in at number 2 is the 80 series, specifically the early models. This is old school toughness with just a slight touch of modernization. The early 80 series LandCruisers are almost as simple as the 70, but they offer a bit more refinement for daily driving and long trips. So what's electronic in an 80? You'll find a very basic ECU for the engine. Some models had optional ABS, and you could also get optional factory diff lockers, which were pretty simple systems back then. But the reason it's still so excellent is that it has very few sensors to worry about. There's no stability control, the drivetrain is incredibly strong and mechanical, and the wiring is still straightforward enough for most people to diagnose and repair. The best engines to look for are the 1HZ non-turbo diesel, or the much-loved 1HDT or 1HDF T-Factory turbo diesels. Now for our number 3 spot, the LandCruiser 105 series. This one is often called the perfect balance, and for good reason. The 105 series is a bit of a hidden gem in the LandCruiser world. It's essentially an 80 series chassis and running gear hiding underneath a slightly more modern 100 series body. Its electronics profile is fantastic for those chasing simplicity. It has a simple AAQ, no traction control, no stability control, and minimal safety systems. It's the best of both worlds. People absolutely love it because it retains the solid front axle from the 80 series, giving it incredible off-road capability. It has simple, robust mechanics, and because it's a bit newer than the 80, parts availability can sometimes be a little easier to manage. It's a fantastic compromise between old-school toughness and a little bit more modern comfort. At number 4, we have the early 100 series LandCruiser. This is the point where Toyota really started adding more comfort and, you guessed it, more electronics. The early 100 series introduced the independent front suspension for a much smoother on-road ride, which made it an incredible touring vehicle. But with that comfort came a few more gadgets. You get more engine sensors, optional traction control on some variants, and even electronic controlled suspension on the higher spec models like the Sahara. It's still a very manageable and reliable vehicle, but you have to be smart about which one you buy. The key is to avoid the models with the active height control suspension, as that can be incredibly expensive to repair. And if you choose one of the simpler engine variants, you're still getting a fantastically reliable LandCruiser that is just a bit more comfortable for the long haul. And that brings us to the vehicles with the most electronics, the 200 and 300 series LandCruisers. Now, don't get me wrong, these are incredible, capable, and luxurious machines, but they are absolutely packed to the gills with modern technology. You're talking about advanced traction and stability control systems, multiple. ECUs controlling everything from the engine to the seats, a full suite of advanced safety systems, like radar, cruise, and lane assist complex emissions tech like diesel particulate filters and drive-by-wire everything. They are amazing vehicles, but they are not the choice for buyers who are chasing pure mechanical simplicity and ease of repair in the bush. When something goes wrong with these, you're likely going to need a specialized computer to even figure out what the problem is. So let's wrap it all up. If you want the absolute least electronics possible in a LandCruiser, buy a pre-2070 series with a 1HZ engine. You can't get any simpler. If you want that simplicity, but with a bit more comfort for daily driving or touring, the 80 series or the 105 series are your perfect answer. If you want a comfortable, modern touring vehicle that's still relatively simple, a well-chosen early 100 series is a brilliant option. And if you want the latest in luxury, safety, and technology, and you're prepared for the complexity that comes with it, then the 200 or 300 series are the way to go. But here's the most important thing to remember. Electronics don't make a LandCruiser last longer. Good, consistent maintenance does. A well-looked-after 200 series will be more reliable than a neglected 80 series every single time. So, which LandCruiser do you trust the most? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And if you found this useful, make sure you subscribe for more honest LandCruiser buying guides and long-term ownership advice. Thanks for watching.